This is David Richardson. You can see my name at the top of my picture, and I am a tax accountant now since 1968. I stopped preparing income tax after graduating from the University of Arkansas with a degree in accounting and business administration. Went further on and got other studies and degrees set for the CPA exam. That's enough about me. I'm now want to talk about you from this point on, and at the end of this presentation, I'll give you a little bit more information about myself. Under my picture, you see my picture three times. This information is coming from my Bible study information because I have a Bible study ministry on the internet to try to put the word out to all people all over the world. But enough about that as well. Under my name and under my picture, you'll see my IRS tax tool. That is my email account where you can email me information, just the information that you want considered for your 2019 and years to come income tax, and I will then email you back either the information about your tax liability or your refund that you're going to have. Now, I'm going to explain how you're going to reduce your liability and increase your refund throughout the process of this presentation. Again, my name is David Richardson. You see my picture three times, and that's for the Bible study. And 1 plus 1 plus 1 does equal 1. And the point of that is to show you that I'm just one person, but you see my picture three times. That's how you would conclude that 1 plus 1 plus 1 equal 1, because we're talking about the information that I present on my Bible class. Now, enough of that as well. Now, on the right side of you, the left side of my picture, you'll see independent business owner, income tax deductions and expenses. I'm going to explain that in just a minute. And also, you see my income tax video. And my income tax video is a tool I use to get information about my clients and for my businesses. I'll say that and with an S on it to show you. And we're going to be talking about the three ingredients or the three things that you're going to need in order to reduce your liability and also to increase your tax refund. I'm just giving you some concepts about myself. Under my picture, you'll see my Google number 301-328 1706, and that is my Google number. You also see it on the right, your right side. You'll see under my income tax video, my Google number again, 301-328-1706. That's to give you an opportunity to speak with me if you have a need to do so, and or you can email me at my IRS tax tool, and I will then will respond in whatever way you choose for that to be. Now, on the information under the independent business owner. And my recommendation for doing this whole thing is to show you the three things that you're going to need in order to reduce your tax liability and or to increase your tax refund. And that's going to be with people, property, or business. You need people under age 13, because children under age 13, when I say people, they get a tax credit. And a tax credit for that individual can, and under the new tax law, and then as of December the 22nd, our president changed the tax law, which had not been changed prior to that time until 1984. But we're on a new tax law, December the 22nd, 2017. He signed the 2018 tax law into law. So now we're in the latter part of 2019, and we've had now 2 years to undergo the new tax law of the 2018 tax law. So what we're going to recommend that you now concentrate on is having people, property, or business on your tax return. And if you don't have a lot of small children under age 13, you won't be able to get the tax credits for them. And maybe perhaps if they're under 13 and you have someone caring for them after school or before school, they can get a dependent tax credit. But that's for people. Now, if you don't have a rental property that you're renting out to persons, then you may not have a property on your tax return. So if you don't have a business on your tax return, then you are just there to, I'm going to talk about the tax table in a minute to show you why you would want to reduce your taxable income, because the taxable income is on tax table to show you what you'd have to pay making X number of dollars. Then we're going to get into all of that as we go on with this process. Now I'm going to explain some of the difference between deductions and expenses. If you prepare a Schedule A, you prepare in the Schedule A to list all of your itemized deductions. You can itemize your health, you can itemize your tax, you can itemize your mortgage interests, you can itemize your contributions and things like that. That's the limited of your limitation for your itemized deductions under the new 2018 tax law. because some of the other things that you had prior to that time are no longer there. We're not going to talk about those. Just the thing that you're going to be applicable for you now on your 2019 tax return to show your itemized deduction will be your health, will be your tax, will be your interest, market interest, will be your contribution. Now, let's talk about expenses. Many of the expenses that you're going to have, or just some of them, are listed also under the my Google number, like travel expenses, like automobile expenses, like seminar expenses, like utility expenses, contract labor expenses, uh, bank and postage expenses, like tax and license expenses, many different kind of expenses, business shipping, office equipment expenses, software development expenses, different cell phone, different kind of expenses are listed under this process. Now, see down in red is also show you that there are many additional expenses that I don't have room enough to put on here that you can have for a business if you operate in a business. And there are different kinds of businesses that you can have with different kinds of expenses. That's why I want to have an opportunity to list a few of the expenses that you can incur and going to incur if you operate an independent business. Also down at the bottom, pay close attention to what I have down there in the blue, that you save all receipts, all bank statements to make the verification, just in case the Internal Revenue or some other government official asks you for your proof. You can have all these proof data, and I'm going to show you how to maintain a perfect record of all your proof data. So all you have to do is just give them the information, and these days all digital information, because paper is on its way out. We're killing too many trees, but now we can do it digitally, and this simply by emailing information or transmitting it in the form of what can be used in a digital stat. So all these data that we're talking about right now from this point on is going to be talking about a business and business, or a business. And when I say business, because a property can be a business, and also a business can be a business. So if you got people, property, or business on your tax return, that's going to reduce your liability, increase your refund. If you don't have a lot of people, and many of us don't have children under age 13 on our tax return, we may have some children in college that get college credits of a certain age, but we don't have those on our tax return, then we don't have people. But we can have a property or business. Now, we don't have not have the withdrawal to buy a property and to maintain a property with people in your property, then you may not have a property. But anyone can have a business, and these days you can start a business for less than $100. I did say less than $100. It all depends on your having the information that you're going to need in order to have a business, and then you maintain your business by operating your business in your daily activity. Many of us can operate a business daily and also maintain an full-time employment, as many people already do. Operate businesses, full-time employment, but yet operate a business by having a manager or someone to manage your business while you are at another facility working. Now let's go on with this process. Here's a tool that I use in order to gather data on my associates that I work with, on my business partners, or whatever means I want to use my tool to gather information. And all I need is my name and the email address and phone number of my associates. I can get that from them after they give it to me. I don't have to have it publicize their phone number, nor do I publicize their email or their name for that's concerned. But this is just for me alone to gather the information to show them how they can make real money by working the tools that I use. Now, this tool is also, you can text this tool, and that's what this is also referencing, so you learn how to do. And you already perhaps already do a lot of texting, but if you can text information that you now are texting, you can also text information that will enhance your business operations as you are at work or as you at play, or however many you are using your texting tool, which is most likely going to be some form of a phone, to move information around, or a computer, as it were, to move information around. This is just to introduce you to the process that I'm using to show you how to get this information, okay? I'm going to show you how to take this data that you see here and put it in a form so someone can contact you as you go in process. But let's go on with this process now. This data you hear here is from the Internal Revenue. Or all we're talking about is you to reducing your liability and or increasing your refund. Both of those are going to be maintained by the Internal Revenue. You're going to have to pay the Internal Revenue a tax liability, or the Internal Revenue is going to issue you a tax refund as you close out your end of year. All right, the information here is taken directly from the Internal Revenue, and I'm doing this to show you how to get information from the Internal Revenue that you're going to need in order to reduce your liability and or increase your refund. IRS.gov, I put that on this myself, on the Internal Revenue's information, irs.gov, for whatever year you want. You can go to our Internal Revenue and get the information that I'm going to be sharing with you in a few minutes. But to get that information, you simply type into Internal Revenue's search engine whatever you want. In this case, I'm going to be talking about tax tables. So you would go to the Internal Revenue, type into the Internal Revenue's search engine tax table or tax tables, and up will come all the Internal Revenue tax table, and you go down the Internal Revenue's tax table to find your taxable income to show you how much tax the Internal Revenue are going to be asking you to pay on your taxable income. Now, using only the tax tables for the current year is what the Internal Revenues are going to provide. They may have to, you can go back prior years to see what they're asking, but most likely you're going to have to search for that, because the Internal Revenue's current year is going to give you the current tax tables. For instance, so we're in 2019, we're getting ready to file our 2019 tax return. So pretty soon, January, following this, we're in December now, this upcoming year, you can go into the tax table and see what the 2019 tax tables would produce. I'm going to be showing you tax tables from 2018 because I have not gotten privilege to the Internal Revenue's 2019 information. Okay, so let's hear that for an example of what we're saying now. Here are the tax tables that I was talking about. These tax tables here are starting with at 84,000 and going up to 100,000. But you stop this information and you can just click on pause button to pause this information and give an idea of what I'm talking about. Now, if for instance, if you had earned $75,000 in 2018, we're talking about, look at the top of the table so you can see that we got 2018 data here because we had not have an opportunity to see the 2019 data yet. But if you earned 75,000 in 2018, you would have had to pay, a single person would have had to pay $12,445. And if you made 83,000 in the same year, you would have had to pay $14,216. So you see how the tables are set up. They are set up to show you your taxable income for a particular year. Now let's look at 2018 income for, say, 84,000, what you see on the screen. So if you had earned 84,000 in that year, your taxable income would have been $14,456. But if you earned 92,000 in the same year, you see that on the screen, your taxable income would have been $16,376. So you see what I'm saying? So let's go to 100,000. If you earned $100,000 in 2018, this is 2018 data. Now 2019 data is going to be higher than this because the tables always increase. Your 2018 taxable income of 100,000 at a single person, you would have had to pay $18,284. Okay, but now in 2019, it's more than that. Now, if you earn more than 100,000, then you would have had to have used the tax computation worksheet. The tax computation worksheet is what you see in a little square block above the information that's on the bottom right of the screen now that you see. So your taxable income at 100,000 and above, you don't have that information privilege on the Internal Revenue's tax tables because you have to compute that. That's why I'm saying tax computation schedule. I mean tax computation worksheet. So you'd have to work out your taxable income on the Internal Revenue's tax computation worksheet in order to find out what your income would be for a person or persons that's earning more than 100,000. And in these days and time, we have many households or persons earning much more than $100,000, and perhaps 200,000 or up to, say, 500,000 it can be, and your taxable income will be a whole lot different than it would be at 100,000. So this is just to show you about all persons who earn income of any form, and there are different forms of income. There's taxable income that's generated from earned income. That's taxable income that's generated from passive income. That's earned income taxable income that's generated from gambling. There's taxable income from all sources of income, and you want to report all income. All income is reportable over a set amount. All income is reportable, but all income may not be taxable. It may not be taxable, but most likely all income, taxable income, is going to be taxed. That's what I'm saying. Okay, now let's go on with this process. Now, here again is a tool that I'm using in order to collect the information that we're talking about in you operating a business and expanding your business with your business associates or your customers, as it were, around the world. So all we're talking about is you making real money running your business, and you keeping your real money separate from all the other income. We don't want to co-make money. I'm going to show you in a few minutes how you want to earn money while you are earning money. What I'm saying about it, if you're working a job and you get in a W-2, you are earned income. But you can operate if you're making, say, $200,000 or $300,000 a household. Your earned income is going to come from your W-2s, but you can reduce the taxable income on that earned income by operating a business or businesses to reduce the liability and increase the refund. That's what this is really all about. So my income tax video is going to bring you to the tool that you need in order to take care of what we're talking about in this presentation. Now, I put here just to show you the starting earning immediately, and you want to start texting your information to people to contact those people that you may call. Someone may call you. If that person call you, then you got their information to text information back to them. Or you can perhaps meet a person, stranger, and get their phone number and let them know that you're going to text them some information. So what you're texting them is to give them information to help you to run your business. We're going to show you all that in just a few minutes. So I'm moving on, and I am talking fast because I don't want to take up all of your precious time with this presentation. So make sure you click the pause button and study each of the data that I'm giving you now so you can get a comprehensive understanding of what we're talking about. Above all, you get, and we should get understanding. And once you get the understanding how simple this process is, then I'm pretty sure that you will take advantage of it. Now, this is to just to give you an idea that you need to get a bank. You need to have a bank if you're going to run a business. So you first thing you will want to do is to go to the Internal Revenue search engine. Type into the Internal Revenue search engine SS-4, and the SS-4 is going to give you an application for you to get your EIN number. Then the EIN stands for Employer's Identification Number. You're going to need an employer's identification number either as a sole proprietor or either as a LLC, regardless of whatever it is. You're going to need an EIN number, and once you get the EIN number from the Internal Revenue, which is going to be married to your Social Security number, you're going to take that, or numbers, you're going to take that EIN number to your bank and establish a bank account under the business name that you're going to name your business with your number and your Social Security number. The bank may already have that when you fill out the application at the bank. And your information, your monies that you earn from your business, then would go into that business account at the bank. Now, you may have another other accounts at the same bank. You may have savings account, you may have a checking account, you may have all different kinds of accounts at the same bank, but the information that you're going to be putting into money that you're going to be putting into that bank account under your business name, under that tax ID number, is what you're going to maintain to show records as to the authorities as to how much money you put into your account and took out of your account for expenses. Now, if your expenses exceed the money you put in, then you're going to take the monies that your expenses had to get from your other sources of income, and that reduces your tax liability, increases your refund. The business is probably not going to generate a profit, according to the authorities. It's not going to generate a profit for the first 5 years, and that will give you a means for the first 5 years to reduce your taxable liability and your increase your refund by having those expenses that we just shared with you and we'll have to be sharing as we go through this process. So I'm going to move on, but you do want to consider opening up a bank account if you're going to have a business. That's the significance of me showing you this data here. Okay. Now, what kind of business can you run and what kind of expenses can you incur? Well, this is just to give an idea that if you running a business and you want to lease an automobile in your business name, then you will lease the automobile in your business name, and the lease expenses then will be written off because you can use that automobile to go from point A to point B to conduct business. And if you have opportunity to get more than just one, you use your personal automobile for your personal use, but you use your business automobile that you have leased for your business use if you worth all can do that. And this is only for you if you can have more than one automobile, one for your business and one for your personal use. But the personal use cannot be written off, so you perhaps may not want to lease it, or you may want to lease it. I don't know, but I just know your personal use of your automobile cannot be an expense. Whereas if you had a business automobile, you could have that written off against your income that the business earned. And taking a cruise is one way to get money in a week. If you work in the cruise, it's a seminar at sea versus a cruise. That's why I put that data there for, because if you go on, say, a ship and there's hundreds and thousands of people on the ship, you then are going to be working that ship to show those persons who don't have an opportunity to go from point A to point B, but you can mingle with the people on the ship to show them how, and they can leave the ship as a business, and now you leave the ship with business associates that you went on the ship to work on, and that becomes a seminar at sea for you, and that's an expense write-off. This is just an idea to show you the kind of expenses that you can incur and where you can get your associates in a position where you can speak with them more than one time in the course of, say, a week, okay, or a month. It doesn't really matter how long it is. You can still communicate with different people at different times. Now, I'm going to move on with this. I just want to give an idea of some of the things you can have. Now, I'm going to take this kind of slow here because this is a tool, a very important tool for you to use to maintain your business expenses and all other expenses. This is a machine called the NEAT machine. It is a scanning machine, and there are different kinds of machines that you can use to scan information in. I'm just using this one because of the uniqueness that I have, and I personally own one myself. So the purpose of having this tool here is to scan in, and I put the arrows up the top to show you the red arrows to show you how you can scan in all your documents into your computer system or your phone system. You can scan in all the different forms of receipts that you produce in your business activity as well as personal. You can separate the receipts also as personal. You can separate them into business. And you would want to do that to maintain so that it would tie in with your bank records if you're using your banking system to maintain your personal life versus your business life. And you would have receipts to show the difference between the two. And also business cards. You can even scan in business cards, associates, and personal cards as well. So this machine is a tool for you to scan in your activity that you have from year to year. And now, these days and time, you would want to have something like this QuickBooks system so that your accounting process will be done in with the scanning of the information. And once you put it in, you can direct it to where it's going to go, and your QuickBooks accounting system are going to categorize the data to show business versus personal. That's the neat process of having this neat machine. It will show you things that you perhaps would have to pay someone to do when this tool can maintain it and put it into your computer system and or these days your phone system for you to maintain the process. So I'm going to move on with this. I just wanted to introduce to you this tool called the NEAT machine. But again, I'm not advertising NEAT nor am I advertising QuickBooks because they're different accounting systems that you can use. There are also different kinds of a scanning system that you can use. I'm using this one because I personally own the NEAT machine and I know the effectiveness of what it does. That's why I'm using that, only to show you that. But you may have already have your own scanning system and your own accounting system. But whatever it is, it's just for me to show you that you need to have people, property, or business. Now, I didn't tell you this a few minutes ago, but let me tell you this. If you are preparing a business, you're going to do it on a Schedule C. Or if you have a rental property, you're going to prepare a Schedule E. And also on the Schedule E, you can get royalties and different kinds of income on the Schedule E. And a Schedule C can be for a sole proprietor and an LLC. But those are two of the forms that the Internal Revenue are going to have you to prepare if you operate in a business. And my recommendation is this presentation is for you to have people, property, or business on your tax return. And many people don't have a whole lot of people that qualify. You can have an aunt, an uncle, or something like that also on your tax return, but your liability and or your refund won't be effective as much with a person that's, unless it's a disabled individual or blind person or something like that, you got to take care of, don't have any means of operating for themselves, more or less than 51%. So you may have to take care of that person. But I'm not going to go back over that again. We're at the process now to show you how to maintain records. Okay. Now, my name again is David Richardson. I'm about at the end of this. One more thing to tell you. My name is David Richardson, and my Now Lifestyle video will show you some of the things that you're going to need. Now, at the top of that, on my left side on your right, it says lose up to 30 pounds without exercise. That is one of the businesses that I use in order to have reducing my tax liability. Now, since 1981, I have ran my own business or businesses. Okay, I've been preparing income tax since 1968, which was a small business operation at that time, because I was also an employee. I was also working as an insurance broker. I've also been a mortgage broker. I've done several things in my life, and starting after I graduated from college. Done several things, and I'm just recommending to you that you can have a business for less than $100, and that's the business that you see on your right here. This is a business for persons who want to have a better body and to lose weight. That's what this business affords them to have. Now, my Now Lifestyle video will explain to you what kind of business that you can have with this tool here, using the process that this company is using. And it is real. It's real, and it's operating a business. And this is just recommending this kind of business. You may have your own source of business that you want for yourself, but my whole point is to let you know that you can have business, and you need to have a business on your tax return. You need to have people, property, or a business on your tax return in order to reduce your tax liability and or increase your tax refund. Now, if you are an individual who's got a whole lot of properties, for an example, you may know someone that has, say, hotels and golf courses and things of that way. What a new tax law was geared for those persons who have those kind of properties, hotels, golf courses, horses, all different kinds of businesses, where there are individuals that have over 100 businesses. There are over people that's got a whole lot of properties, a whole lot of hotels and things like that. That person don't pay as much tax as the person who don't have any hotels, don't have any kind of property, no kind of business. Those persons that don't have any people, property, or business on the tax return, they pay more tax than anyone. And that's what this is to show you how to pay less tax, increase your tax refund by simply starting a business for less than $100. That is the gist of what we're talking about. I'm going to conclude this. Again, my name is David Richardson, and I've showed you myself 2 or 3 times now. But the whole point of this is for you to have the business expenses that you see on this process. My income tax video is going to show you the tool that you need in order to attract the people that you're going to have to utilize your business or to help you run your business through the process. And a person that patronize you, you're going to know who they are, because your patrons or the people that patronize your business, those persons are going to be using the tool, my income tax video, for you to do that. I'm going to conclude this. Now, I hope for you to text this information that you see here. This information will be on my incometaxtool.com. So you want to go to myincometaxtool.com, or you text to your friends myincometaxtool.com, and they're going to be afforded the same thing that you just heard. They will hear the same thing, and when they start their business, it will enhance you simply by just texting them myincometaxtool.com. That's myincometaxtool.com. I'm going to conclude this. I've been with you now for quite a while. Again, my name is David Richardson. I've ran my own business now since 1981. I say businesses since 1981, but prior to that time, I worked in the federal government from 1967 up through 1980. So from that time, I started running my own business. I want to thank you for letting me spend up so much of your valuable time. And I hope for you to take advantage of this opportunity simply by texting to someone myincometextool.com. Bye bye. Have a good day.